Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Roast Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. A big SEC West showdown is going to be commencing this Saturday afternoon between the Alabama Crimson Tide at home versus the Ole Miss Rebels. Now, normally this feels like a slam dunk for Alabama to beat Ole Miss, but the Crimson Tide are really struggling to start this season, and Nick Saban has never lost to his former assistant coach in Lane Kiffin. Will this finally be the year that Ole Miss can finally knock off Alabama, even though it's on the road? Me and WillND preview and predict this game between Alabama and Ole Miss to see whether we think that the Crimson Tide will win or Ole Miss will finally be able to upset the Crimson Tide.
Ole Miss, Alabama. Can Lane Kiffin finally do it? Can Lane Kiffin finally beat Nick Saban?
This game right here and the Florida State-Clemson one are the two games that I've flip-flopped the absolute most on thinking about these games. Because I'm looking at it, Jalen Milroe's back. I mean, he's back from the bench, and the way I'm looking at it, I don't know how good Texas is. And this is the problem here. Since we do not know how good Texas actually is, it makes picking this game harder. Because you can look at it on the one hand and say, well, Jalen Milroe kept Alabama in the game just as much as he blew it with the 2 picks. But he also had a couple really good throws as well, especially that long throw, 70-yard touchdown pass that kept Bama in the game longer. If Texas is an elite team, then I think that makes it more justified in picking Alabama. But if Texas is not, and we find out later in the year that they're still an 8-4, 9-3 team kind of deal, then possibly Jalen Milroe, it's not as big of a deal. But Alabama looked awful last week. The worst performance I've ever seen in my life from Alabama, because I was 3 years old when they played UL Monroe. I didn't see it. I was a toddler. I started watching them in the 09, and that's when they started getting really good. So they were terrible against South Florida. And granted, you look at the 2 quarterbacks that play, Tyler Buckner, Ty Simpson, they both just didn't look like they're ready, which is ironic with Buckner because Tommy Rees is the OC. And Tommy Rees was at Notre Dame, and Tyler Buckner was at Notre Dame. You think that the connection would be there like with Penix and DeBoer at Washington when they were both at IU. You feel like it would just work, but it didn't. It didn't work there in that game. And then Ty Simpson didn't really get it together either. But Jalen Milroe, he gave Alabama a chance against Texas, and he's back here. His athleticism is off the charts. He's going to run a couple big, gains here. And Ole Miss hasn't been super impressive to start the season. They've had moments where they haven't looked that great, but they did win at Tulane. They did beat Georgia Tech fairly easily. I'm going to let you pick here first, man. Again, when I'm struggling, I got to let you pick first.
How many interceptions will Jalen Milroe throw?
It's a key factor. If he throws 1, Bama probably wins. If he throws none, they're going to win. If he throws 2, 50-50, 3 or more go, it's over. Ole Miss is winning. I agree with you. It's a measuring stick.
That's the padlock stat, as Josh Pate would say for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 3. 34-28 Ole Miss.
I don't even know what to do here. I mean, I don't know. I've picked home team almost every time. And Alabama is not what they have been in the past. They're not what they used to be. The DC, Kevin Steele, that defense, he's just not getting them to play at the level that they've been in the past. I mean, they used to hold Leonard Fournette to, 10, 15 yards in games. Now they're giving up a lot of yards on the ground. And you've got Quidshon Judkins, who is really good. I mean, can Alabama slow them down? And then with that D-line that's not playing as well. And then you talk about the offense. I mean, again, like you said, padlock stat of Josh Pate. I mean, what if Milroe throws 2 or 3 picks and they're, one's a pick 6? I mean, that could just completely change the game if he can keep the ball under control and Alabama runs plays that benefit his style of play and keeps him out of trouble. I think Alabama has more talent, could still win. I don't even know here. All I know is that I think Ole Miss is a good team, but I don't think they're a great team. I think they've got a lot of talent, but I just don't know if they have enough talent. And it's still going to be in Tuscaloosa, which makes a difference. this feels like a Clemson. It's a measuring stick. This is like, is Alabama, is the dynasty over? Is it completely gone? Is Alabama really not what they were? Are they going to start to collapse and be a 9-3, 8-4 team every year? I'm going to give Alabama one last crack. I'm going Alabama 31-28 over Ole Miss. We're going with the Crimson Tide. Alabama's going to find a way. Nick Saban's going to, get some of that juice from the Aflac commercials, bring it to the sideline. He's going to get his team going. Lane Kiffin is going to be frustrated. Jaxson Dart in that environment might make a couple mistakes. We'll see. It's going to be close, but if Alabama loses this game and they're not impressive, then my mind's heavily going to shift on them. I'm going to go with Bama one more time.
No, Buckeye Mike asked, will they fall out of the top 25 if they lose?
No. If they lose by like 3, no. If they get blown out by 20, probably, or very close to it. But no, if they barely lose, they won't fall out.
But that means that they're going to be a 2-2 team.
They still aren't going to fall out. You think Alabama's going to fall from 13 to out of the poll if they lose to Ole Miss, a team that they're going to put in the top 10 if they win this game by 3, if they lose by 3? No, they're not going to lose. They're not going to do that.
No.
They're not going to fall out of the top 25. They're not going to. It's not going to happen.
All right.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've never in my life been so nervous to pick Alabama. It feels like I'm in the minority here, even though they're favored by 7. Everyone's going Ole Miss. From what I can tell, I think Bama's going to win. We'll see. 31-28. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think that Lane Kiffin's time has come to finally beat Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, or whether you think that Nick Saban and Alabama will continue their dominance against the Ole Miss Rebels. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.